Welcome back to The Evil Within. We just had our picture taken by Stefano. We're in Chapter 2 of The Evil Within 2. I find this surface very interesting. It's glass, but you can see the reflection almost as a hologram of yourself on the other side of that glass. This is the only surface in the whole game that's reflective.
What the hell?
Oh, hell no. That was what was going through my mind.
Oh, fuck.
Obviously, the thing I should have done was turn around and run around those sets of boxes, but I just went through that door so badly. Notice that all of a sudden he can actually sprint. The adrenaline seems to have gotten on him. He can run much farther than in the last episode. I was complaining that I couldn't run anywhere. He ran that all the way down all those hallways. I found that more intimidating than the guy with the chainsaw at the beginning of The Evil Within. She's not just a little bit bigger than me, she's like twice my size. Not carrying a chainsaw, she's got a saw for a hand. I found that on par with Laura in the first game. Laura's more deadly, don't get me wrong. Laura's more of a boss than this creature is. I think they call it the Guardian. Kind of an odd name. I mean, it gets used as a Guardian from time to time, I guess, but I don't. It needed something more intimidating than that name implies. Still in the exploring mode, trying to figure out if there's ways to open vents, you know, so walk up to vents that are closed instead of just turning in the direction that was obvious.
Oh, I don't hear it.
I was expecting it to come from down there, so I thought I'd duck. Oftentimes when you jump down in these games, if you turn around, there's something worth finding. No, not this time. Now this is actually a cutscene. I mean, you do have to run a little bit here, but mostly this is a cutscene.
No.
Almost a quick time event, having to press the A there. I haven't seen that in the modern game in a while. And finally, we're somewhere that looks a little bit like it might be a normal place.
All right. What the fuck is going on here?
I think he said it well. I do like the fact that there is a little bit of automatic health regeneration, but you get so little of it. It only goes up to that little bar. Now, through the course of our gameplay, we're actually playing in survival mode. We can upgrade Sebastian, and eventually you can get to where the amount of health that he gains back is greater. The speed at which he gains it is quicker. And I was looking for the knife. Like, I literally have nothing in my inventory here. Okay. It's a nice little menu, though, that you can pull up and you can see that you have green gel, you can see, you know, weapons parts, things like that. It doesn't show you the keys. There are lockers in this game, just like there were in the last game. And there are police lockers. A little bit more obviously police lockers this time, because they're... Clearly nobody's going to mistake these for more lockers. And so you can find keys. Trying to figure out what I can do with this knife now that I have a knife. I can actually swing at things. Before this, I couldn't even swing. There was literally the trigger button did nothing.
And now where am I?
Gotta look in the bathtub, man. Always look in the bathtub, right? Nothing. It used to be the old Resident Evil thing, right? Pull the plug in the bathtub, watch it drain. You can see how they make things kind of obvious that you can actually interact with. We've had so few to interact with so far that like I kept walking up to things wondering if I could interact with them. Yeah, after you see a few of these glowing things, you're pretty sure you know when you'll be able to interact with something. I always find those wheels kind of hard to get. If you get a whole lot of stopping points, find it hard to get the one I want, especially if I'm in a rush. Again, just trying to check and see if dots will come up on things as I get close to them. Can't read the newspapers. The game is pretty decent about rewarding you for opening doors and going through places that you can go without like this room is, you know, just a few steps out of your way, right? It's not like you had to go a long way out of your way, and they're going to reward you with another file.
Journal in abandoned house. The handwriting in this journal is neat and precise, and the final entry reads as follows. Just got the call. Now I know the reason for all the weird shit that's been happening the last few days. It's the worst possible scenario, but at least I don't have to pretend anymore. The things I've seen, they've all changed. It's too late to save them. It's time to put my training to practice. May God have mercy on their souls. And mine.
No hint at who that might be from. It's interesting. Remember, time seems to flow differently inside STEM than it does outside STEM. The first game happened the people on the outside lived through 37 minutes, while Sebastian, Joseph, and Kidman lived through days worth of trauma. The Mobius rescue team that they sent in was sent in about a week ago. That's what they said, a week ago outside. So how long have they been in here? I mean, how long would a week have been if 2 days worth of time in the original game was 37 minutes and these people have been in here a week out on the outside? I mean, they could be in here. They could have been in here a very long time. This is finally getting to look through the menus and seeing that they mark things as kind of orange and the word new above the sections that have something in it. And me trying to decide whether it's worth coming in here and, I mean, obviously I don't need to reread them, but look, if you click on it, the little star will go away from next to it, and then the word new will go away from that. And I was trying to decide if I thought it was going to be worth it to try to keep that list clean. I wanted to break those jars, but nope. There aren't a whole lot of breakable things. There's not actually a whole lot in the environment that you can interact with. The environment looks great. Looks absolutely great. But there's not a whole lot you can interact with. You can't even knock those bottles off the tables. You knew it was open world because they gave you a map. And now we're going to walk outside, have a cutscene. and find a gun. That's important.
Where were you when I needed
I
you?
don't think it would have been particularly useful against that behemoth.
Maybe this is the right place. Lily, I hope you're here.
Photo of Castellanos' family. This photo, I thought this was lost in the fire forever. I remember when we took this, Lily's breath smelled like cotton candy. Myra never looked more beautiful.
What did I get myself into? Kidman?
Sebastian, where have you been? We lost you.
I don't know. But it sure as hell wasn't a quaint little town. There's something bad happening in here, Kidman. Baker is dead. There's a killer running around in here, doing things that are... It's like Beacon all over again. What the fuck did you just send me into?
I don't know. We're in the dark out here. Baker was the team leader. If he's dead, that doesn't bode well for the rest of them. Keep searching around. The more info you gather, the more I'll be able to help you.
Yeah.
Now remember, she told you to, hey, there's our first achievement. Welcome to Union. Yeah, that's basically a game progress achievement. So you get to this point, you get that achievement. Walk out that door, you have that conversation with Kidman, and that's how the achievement comes up. I always put my handguns at the top. That's just where I like to have them. I like it at the top, the crossbow to the left, shotgun to the right, and the sniper rifle usually at the bottom. Crossbow to the left, shotgun to the right, sniper rifle at the bottom, handgun at the top. Anything else, I usually use the menu button to go find it. So. Clip hold 6. And I can carry up to 20. I have 6 rounds. So I'm thinking, okay. Look at that foliage. It really looks nice. It's not quite as, this is a 2017 game. That's actually going to be important here in a moment. A little point that I want to make. This game was released in October of 2017. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard was released in January of the same year. Obviously different, different franchises, but remember Shinji Mikami started Resident Evil back with Capcom. Now, here are the things that really annoyed me, that if you walk into a bush, you can't see it there. The bush wasn't tall enough. But if you go through a lot of bushes, the leaves don't disappear for the camera. Yeah, see, look at this. You wind up, you're in cover, but what good's the cover if you can't see what's going on? So anyway, that was a poor design choice, if you ask me. And ding them for that one. Everything else, the plants all look beautiful. They're not interactive like they would be in a more modern game. You can see how obvious something is that you can interact as it glows with a golden light. Most of what you find are crafting materials. You occasionally find actual ammo. And hell, like we found a plant there. You can't use the plant, but you can make a syringe from the plant. So most of the things you find are crafting. The game does let you, you're not going to know this for, I guess, until the next episode, but lets you craft in the field as well as inside safe rooms. Now I was convinced that newspaper, because when you looked at that newspaper was almost glowing in there, so I was convinced that if I break the glass, I'll be able to get to that newspaper. Instead, just get eaten by bugs. You know that has to stink, right? But yeah, see, it didn't become any more available. I think, okay, well, maybe if I go to the other side, but it won't let me go up the hill. Again, still just trying to figure out what's what in the game. I was convinced that I should be able to get it almost looks like it's glowing, so felt like I should be able to get it. Give it up, Brian. Let's go. All right. Taking in the scenery and saying, "Can I climb up a hill?" No. Hey, well, the hill on the other side looks a lot shallower. Can I climb up this hill? No. Okay, so open world
Don't
means
worry,
I can go down
Sebastian.
this road.
It's just a small, quiet town.
Really kind of
Yeah.
disappointing.
Too
I mean, if
quiet.
you played truly open world games like Witcher games, and even Lara Croft games that aren't quite as open as Witcher, but if it looks like there's a footpath, she can take it.
Hello? Hey! She had to have heard.
Now, the reason I wanted to point out that this game was released in
Better check it
October
out.
of 2017 and Resident Evil Biohazard was released in January of 2017 is you can tell that the two teams must talk because watch this cutscene. Tell me this is not Marguerite Baker from Resident Evil 7 Biohazard.
Hello?
Skin and bones, eat. Gotta eat. Skin and bones. Gotta eat. Clean your plate. You gotta eat. Skin and bones.
Notice he's alive. He's still alive here at that point.
I said eat!
Does that not remind you of
There we go.
Ethan being force-fed at the dinner table?
I'm doing what's best
Ah.
for you.
It would seem the two teams are not reluctant to share concepts. A lot of deep history between the two teams. This is actually a cutscene. You don't. I didn't miss that shot, and I don't make this shot. This is all cutscene. So creepy.
Oh, God.
This is not a cutscene. I actually have to make this shot. Shooting in the middle of nowhere. I was surprised at how reactive the gun was. Like, I wanted it to move slightly to the left and it yanked almost. You get 30, 40 degrees off target there for the first shot, but
Kidman.
That was fast. Did you learn anything new?
Yeah, I did. I learned that it really is like Beacon in here. The people in here are turning into creatures.
Damn it. What the hell happened?
I don't know. But it means that Lily is in more danger than just being lost.
Sebastian,
Save it, Kidman. Leave it to me. I'm gonna find her.
there are a couple of times during the game that happened to me where Sebastian's basically held in place, not held in place by a creature. Like she wasn't holding me. But Sebastian can't move, and you just have to aim the reactiveness of the camera joystick was surprisingly overreactive. That happens to me more than once in the game. But hey, I did pull that out. It was a headshot. Blew her head clean off. I'm usually more a center mass type aimer. Heads move too much. was convinced that this TV meant something. That I was going to learn something by watching a videotape or something. Sit down in the chair? No? No? Okay. I'm still searching all the corners of the room, just assuming there's going to be something that's worth all this being here. I mean, the layout even seems a little bit like a much smaller version of the house, the Baker Mansion from Resident Evil Village, or not Village, Biohazard. I was convinced that blood smear meant something was going to be in that room. I was waiting for Dad. There was one thing that sort of bugged me in the original game, in The Evil Within, is that when you open a door, he would always open the door and step through it. And I was like, no, push the door open. Let the gun be the first thing that goes through the room. I left these up there, you know, they pop up the first time you pick something up, it pops up and kind of tells you what it is. So I left it up there for you to read, but didn't feel it was really worth adding the voiceover from Jackie or myself, Jacqueline. So there's gunpowder. Seems like a whole lot of house for gunpowder. And then I got to remembering in chapter 2 of The Evil Within, there was a kind of a home that was off to the side of the village, the Elk River Village, and if you went off to the side, there was a room in there that if you knocked the wood off of it, you could go in there, and there was a key and a document. There was I think it was just a key, but it was like you were rewarded for going in there. And so I was convinced I could get in that room, but no. But here's your open world for you. Surely he could step through that, but no. It does eventually open up a little bit. At this point, I'm still in my mind thinking this is an open world. I should be able to wander anywhere that there's. I should be able to make that entire map green, right? I should be able to find every corner of that map. I mean, how many games have you played where that? I mean, that used to be even a goal in some games, was to turn the entire map visible on the map screen and get an achievement for that. Turns out that's not a thing here. Now, this was our first time playing. I wasn't sure whether this was a bug or if this was a box that's supposed to be floating 4 feet off the ground. Played through it another couple of times, and this is the only time I've seen that box floating. So I don't know why. Its vertical sync is off. Happy about finding some ammo. Now I've got 6 rounds again. But see, now that was more gunpowder, and they don't put up on the screen what it was. Weapons parts. So you can upgrade yourself as well as your weapons, just like you could in the first game. We're not going to get to a place where we can actually do that during this video. It's going to be more open world type exploration for the rest of this video. Figuring out what you can interact with, what the boxes that I can break look like versus the boxes I can't break. That I can't climb on anything. That if the path looks blocked or if it looks like it's a hill, it could be a hill that's only, you know, something you would normally just be able to almost step on, but it'll still block him. That kind of surprised me. You can climb on cars. Okay. Good to know. I don't know if it's of any use, but you can be on top of a car. Welcome to Union. Big sign. We're glad you're here. This is where I decide, I wonder if a crow drops anything. Of course, you actually have to hit it. You can see that it has that same waving. Can't hold the gun steady. This makes almost every weapon not a great distance weapon. The angle changes even slightly at any distance.
What now?
I'm thinking I have 5 rounds of ammunition and a knife, and I'm hearing automatic gunfire. Whoever was down there already popped off more than 5 rounds. I need to leave. I think this is where I decide that there must be another approach. Surely I don't have to go straight down this road towards whatever was shooting an automatic weapon. That's when I decide, maybe if I go back around there, maybe I can go back to that house and I can wiggle my way through. There was kind of a opening between a fence and some trees there. I'm thinking, well, that might bring me back around behind whatever had that automatic weapon. So let's give that a shot. Of course, the little wine drinker, Sebastian, wine drinking and smoking, he has no stamina. It's going to take us a little while to get back to the house. See right over there? I was just convinced. Okay. That was where I was supposed to go, that this was a path right here. No. Nope, can't do that. Nope, can't walk through those bushes. Hill's not steep on this side, but it's steep on the other side, so, it's too steep for me. Nothing to do but run all the way back now. At this point I was trying to decide if am I still in tutorial mode, and so there's no real open world, it's just walk down the road, or is this the way the whole game is going to be, that the open world is you can see long distances but you can't go anywhere but straight down the road. When you get into the village, we'll get into the village starting next episode, and when you're actually inside of Union itself, that you can pick which streets you go down. You can kind of go between buildings and things like that. So it feels a lot more open world once you're there. So this, I guess, would still be considered part of the tutorial, part of the understand what you can do and what you can interact with. Certainly the way I was treating it, right? I mean, I'm trying to figure out if how do I know where I can go and where I can't go. What does crouching in these bushes look like, feel like? I'm also thinking, I've got 5 rounds, and somebody's down there with an automatic weapon. So, not real eager to go find out what's going to go on down there. Here's where I think, well, if I can get to this little side road, maybe I can go down that way and find a different path. You can see some bodies down there. Look like they might be zombies. Got 5 rounds, and you can see at least three targets. Took me three shots to take the last woman down. 2 of them hit her. One of them took her head off, but thinking 5, that doesn't add up well. Really, really wishing I hadn't shot at that crow. I'd have 6. Maybe that would be just enough. 2 per zombie. If I can hit headshots. Now, oddly, I think the environment looks maybe a little more realistic, a little bit better than the previous game. It's 3 years newer, so hopefully the stem engine. If you notice during the credits in the very first film, very first video that we showed, it's rendered by the stem engine. I thought that was fun. All right, well. We know we're going to face some zombies next time. That's our third video. And we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.